Hello, how you doing? Things are going well, I hope. I want to talk a little bit today about who should start a business, how to be successful in business. What is success in business, right? And is there like a personality type that does well in business with, also towards the direction of like, how to be more successful or how much should you be worried about being successful, right? I think this is quite an interesting topic, and it comes from this Reddit post that I was reading today. Most people should not start a business. It says, here's why. I know this won't be a popular take. I think this is probably a very popular take, actually. Not everyone is built for entrepreneurship. It's brutal, it's lonely, it will test you in ways never imagined. If you can't handle uncertainty, you'll crumble. If you suck at managing money, you'll drown. If you need constant validation, you'll spiral. If you're not obsessed with problem solving, you'll hate it. Everyone's pushing the quit your 9-to-5 narrative like it takes the magic, like it's some magic path to freedom. Truth is, most people should, whatever, right? So basically, if you don't know how to handle uncertainty, manage money, and if you need validation, then you're going to spiral if you're not obsessed with problem solving. Interesting take, right? So, this got me thinking just generally about what I think makes a good entrepreneur and even what entrepreneurship is, because I think that word also paints this broad brush, right, of so many different things. Because the guy who sells door to door, like his own, maybe that's a bad, the guy who sells like life insurance, right, on the phone, he has his own company, right? But he also is selling someone's product, right? So there's the guy there's these independent people who kind of have their own business, right? They have their own clients, they do their own thing, but they might be selling somebody else's product, all the way up to a tech guy who started his own AI company, right? And in between there, you have contractors, right? And you have, then you have people starting actual businesses, and there's this whole layer of entrepreneurship, and where some people will say it is and some people will say it isn't. But what makes a good entrepreneur? And I'd actually argue, I guess let me take this, say it a different way. I don't think that perfection is a good goal or a reason not to be an entrepreneur. I think we keep telling people that they have to be perfect in order to be an entrepreneur, right? But I would actually argue that people who aren't perfect and people who can't even do the things that their business does generally make better entrepreneurs or make better business owners than the people who can do the work. So let's go down here, because I thought this response was really good. I've been self-employed my entire life, and I grew up in a family business. It's all I know. I'm 100% convinced the most critical skill for an entrepreneur, and the skill that determines who will succeed and who will fail, is the ability to knuckle under and ride out the storm longer than the next guy. Pain tolerance. Anytime someone asks me for advice about starting a business, that's what I tell them. Don't even think about it unless you are essentially immune to the effects of stress and pressure and fatigue. And if you want to rise to the top of your game and truly dominate, not only do you have to be immune to it, you need to thrive in that environment. You have to love and embrace stress and pressure. Nobody believes me until they walk a few miles. So that was a really interesting response, I thought, because I think that is a better thing. But then it makes me just say, look, that's a game you practice and you get good at. I love going back to evolutionary, like the like core of what we are and where we came from as humans, right? Like you didn't get to choose whether or not you were going to be stressed and thrive in stress. No, you have to eat, you're going to die. That's some pretty good stress. And each one of us is the descendants of people who said, yeah, okay, let's do it, and like got the job done, right? So this idea here that like, oh, I can thrive in stress or I can't is dumb. It's dumb. It's a practice. It's getting used to it. And if you've ever gone through anything in your life, you'll know that you know, as you go through this level of stress and then you go to this level of stress, well, now this level of stress that was lower is like, oh, that's just regular like stress level, right? Like I'm up here now. And then you go up another level and you're like, what was I thinking, right? And that's just generally how life is when you take on responsibility. So even though business requires accounting, you don't need to be an accountant. You can hire an accountant. And the best business owners rely on an accountant, and they couldn't do it if they wanted to, right? They understand some of the general concepts, but they have somebody they trust, right? And that's why I say I see the best business owners as people who are able to trust and delegate, see what happens, and then reassess, and then do it again, right? So I think a good business owner does not have to be this perfect person that's insane and works 50 hours a day, right? Like that's not a good business owner. I think actually a good business owner can be a mediocre. You can be mediocre at the thing and be a really good business owner, because I think a really good business owner, they can't do the job. A really good plumbing owner probably can't do plumbing, because when you go do plumbing, you take your ability to learn how to delegate away and you go solve the problem and you reset the clock on being the business owner. If you're really good at painting, then you end up painting all day, right? So a good business owner steps out of the way. They don't do the accounting. They don't do the painting, right? I got a really good story for this, and then I'll wrap it up. I was working for an addiction clinic that I kind of helped start before I started my own, okay? And the guy had everything that he needed to be successful. He had people at the clinic physically running the clinic that were doing a good job. He had me doing everything on the web and doing a good job, right? He had a sales team that was answering phones and doing a really good job. That is all you need. Leads, sales, service. That's it. He had it all. But the guy could not get out of his own way. He couldn't stop and leave, right? And just say, run it. Make me some freaking money, right? He had to go be involved in every little thing and play like, and just like get his own self-satisfaction out of being involved. And he blew the whole company up. He killed it because he couldn't step back, right? So we impose ourselves in these businesses, right? We put ourselves in it. So I think that a good business owner, I think it's just persistence, right? That's it. That's really what it is. And that's what that guy's saying. Stress, whatever, ability to, but all that just comes with persistence. That's it. You're going to fall off the horse, get back on. And if you're in a position right now, you run a business, you feel like you're falling off the horse, get back on. If you haven't started a business, get on a horse. but you have to start practicing being involved, running a business, and dealing with the problems that come, and you can get through it. So that's my thoughts on running a business. Who should run a business? It may have been a little bit more scattered than I liked it to be, but that's what I got for today. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.